Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I just finished up a railing upgrade on this deck. It turned out great. This video is going to be about how I installed the nearly invisible cable railing from a company called Muzata. So let's dive in. This is the old railing. It's a composite plastic from a big box store, and it did not hold up well to the weather. It faded and pitted over time and couldn't get clean. This was just after about 3 years, so no good. But man, what a transformation. I wrapped the pressure treated posts in cedar and then used cedar again for the top rail, but the cable railing itself is what really sets it off. So the whole process couldn't be easier. You email in your deck dimensions and a picture or two to Muzata, and they design the cable railing system for you. And then that way you don't have to calculate all the materials that you need. They do it for you and send the quote, and it's very quick. But so I just wanted to go over quickly what came in the kit. I chose the black braided line, and high quality stuff. Comes on a nice spool for easy access. Here's the super high quality hydraulic crimping tool that you use to crimp the ferrules on. You got some drill bits. You've got these lag screw tensioners that the wire feeds through and gets crimped. These are the aluminum ferrules that you use to do the crimping. Came with a drill guide for making sure that your holes are straight, and then it's also got this handy guide for the stair rails if you're doing a 30-degree or 45. I didn't do any stairs on this project, so I wound up not really needing it, but very handy, and again, high quality. This is the tool to tighten in the lag tensioners, and then again, because I chose black, they sent the black washers for just the finished look on the end posts, and that's about it. So let's dive into how easy this was to install. Forgot to mention that the cable cutters also come in the kit, and then also the stainless steel spacers, which the cable runs through, and these go on either side of the intermediate posts. And that's it. Okay, so my posts were 36 inches tall, and so the design just calls for the cables at 3-inch intervals. So I think you can see my marks. So that's basically just 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and 33. So they're equally spaced. And I've just got my vertical and horizontal marks to find the center. And I'll just show you how I drilled this hole here very quickly. Used this spade bit, which is included. And I just went to the depth of where the drilling part and ends and the anchor starts, and do your best to keep the bit level and perpendicular to the post. Drill in, and you're done there. And then I'll just switch over to this side and I'll show you. I haven't drilled these holes yet. Okay, so this is the bit that you use for the center section posts, and this is a nice bit because it doesn't you don't get any tear out on the post. Oh, sorry, can't move. So this is the one you use. You just want to use do your best to make sure that the bit is level as you go through. So you go through on one side and then finish it from the other side, so you get it lined up. Okay. And you'll come over to the other side. And you'll put your bit on your mark. Get it level as best you can. That's the first one. Okay, I've got my spool of wire here. I've got some excess run out, and I found that it worked well if I just took a scrap piece of wire and made sure I'm able to run it through all the center section holes before I try and pull the main cable through. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, so I've run the cable through all the intermediate posts, and I'm on to the end where I'll be connecting it. I'll show you how to do that now. So it's time for the crimping now, and I've got the crimping tool out, the hydraulic one, furnished by Muzata. I've got the 1/8 inch dies in there, and I found it to be easier after a little trial and error if you preload the ferrule into the crimping tool. So yeah, I just put it at the tip of my finger and held the tool at an angle. First, you need to switch it to the on position. It's kind of like a car jack. One way will allow you to put pressure on it, the other way releases the pressure. So turn it on and then put the ferrule on my fingertip, let it rest on the bottom die, and then just start cranking down until it's just snug. Any more than snug won't allow the wire to feed through, so you've just enough to keep it in place. So now I'm over at the end post, and process starts with putting the adhesive sticker onto the back of the washer, and then slide the washer over the end of the braided line, and then you use the connector that is also the tensioner, and that goes on next. Just make sure the tool part is facing you, because that's what you use to tighten it down. And then you slip the cable into the crimper and just let it run past about 1/4 inch, and just crank down 4 or 5 times. You don't have to crank all the way until the die are touching, otherwise the ferrule just kind of pancakes on you, and it's too much compression. So just 4 or 5 and you'll get a nice crimp on there. You'll see in a second. So you got to undo the pressure to get it out of the tool. There's a die stuck to the ferrule, but there you can see it's crimped on there just perfect. So you slide that into the hole, and then followed by the lag screw tensioner. Start that by hand, but it is the threads are super sharp, so probably should wear gloves or use the tool to just get it started. And again, just pointing out that you've got to have that part of the lag pointing out so you can put the tool on. So that's the slotted tool that you use to draw the lag tensioner into the post. And like I said, it goes in like butter because the threads are so darn sharp. Alright, so we're now here at the other side. So I'm going to pull out some excess, and so what they recommend is you just pull it tight, hand tight, and then get your tape measure out, and you want it to run about 1.25 inches into the post. So I've just marked that with my thumb here, and I will then cut that with the cutters here. Okay, and pretty much the same procedure for the other side. I'll show you now. All right, a little better camera work on this side. So there's the braided line, there's the washer goes on, there's the adhesive, which you'll pull off when it's time to attach the washer to the post. Slide on the lag tensioner. You can slide that down as far as you need, and then get your crimper, preload your ferrule in there, just get it snug, slide your cable through, about a 1/4 inch pass as you can see there, and then just crank down after you've turned it on or to the on position 4 or 5 times. That gives you a perfect crimp. Unloosen the tension, and there you can see perfect crimp on the ferrule, and there's your finish. You got the ferrule, the lag tensioner, the washer, and then just the thing that I slid out of the way was the stainless steel sleeve that goes on the intermediate posts. So I started that by hand, and then you tension it up with the tool. Spade bit. Just lining up my marks. At this point, it made sense just to drill all the remaining holes as I had my marks on all the posts ready to go. So that's what I did. Alright, so I'll fast forward just this one last connection that I'll show you up close as far as putting in the end post, and then I'm going to pull the camera back to widescreen and just let it go at 20x. Alright, at this point I've got all the cable railing installed, and it's time to come back and do the tensioning and take the adhesive off the back side of the washers and attach them to the end posts. Alright, as I made my way around the corner, I got to the middle posts, and at that point it was time to drive in the stainless steel sleeves, and I found it worked really well if you just used a pair of needle nose pliers and just wrapped them around the cable, and then you had something, and then just bang on the pliers, and that wedged the stainless steel anchor into the post. It's like a friction fit, but really finished off the middle post really nicely. Another thing to note, because I didn't touch on it earlier, is when you're running this braided line through the intermediate posts, you need to make sure to remember to put those stainless steel sleeves on as you go, or else you'll wind up with the cable tensioned in and realize you've missed a connector. So just pay attention to that. So getting close to being done here now, just putting on the last of the washers on this final post. We're just about done here, so want to thank you for watching the video. If you made it this far, you might as well hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I've got more videos on the way. Be sure to check out some of my older videos as well. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out in the comments. I always respond as quickly as I can. And this project was so fun and so easy to do. Be more than happy to help anybody out who has a question. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.